Welcome to Learning to Knit. I am Lucinda Signori, founder of Madame Signori Designs. In Lesson 1, we will be knitting this gorgeous two-colored garter stitch scarf together. If you have never knit before, no worries. This lesson is for you. It has been made with a beginner in mind. During this lesson, you will learn how to cast on stitches using the long tail cast on method, knit stitches, change from the end of one skein to the beginning of another, cast off stitches, darn in ends, and when you're finished, you will have a beautiful scarf you will be proud to wear. For this project, you will need yarn, needles size 5mm, US 8 or UK 6, preferably in bamboo, scissors, and a darning needle. For the yarn, choose 4 small skeins of medium weight yarn, soft preferably in natural materials and with coordinating colors. Ask your yarn shop owner for suggestions of easy to use, easy to knit yarns. I have selected for my scarf Fonte Oberson merino wool in colors 18 and 9. To begin your project, carefully remove the skein label from your skein. Gently pull the center from the skein to find the beginning of the yarn. For the scarf, we will cast on 30 stitches using the long tail cast on method. To measure the amount of yarn you will need for the casting on, pull about 1 foot or 30 centimeters of yarn out for each 15 stitches. So for this project, we will pull out about 2 feet or 60 centimeters of yarn. Now, double the yarn over at this point, placing the tail to the back, over your index finger and thumb like this. Insert the tip of your needle from the back and turn clockwise. Let me show that to you again. Tail to the back, yarn to the front. Trap those tails with your pinky and your ring finger. Insert the tip of the needle from the back and turn clockwise. This forms your first stitch. Now we're going to continue placing stitches on the needle. One, two, through. 1, 2, and through. 1, 2, and through. You will see that I'm picking up the outside of the yarn. 1, 2, through. 1, 2, and through. Once you have cast on your 30 stitches, You will need to verify that you have a long enough tail to darn in ends. Several inches will be fine. Now turn your needle to begin knitting stitches. To knit stitches, insert the tip of the needle in your right hand into the first stitch on your left needle, like so. Wrap the yarn around the needle counterclockwise and pull it through. Now slip this stitch off of the left needle and onto your right needle. There you go. You've just knit your first stitch. Now let's try that again. At the end of the row, finish knitting the last few stitches and then turn your work to begin again. You will want to finish a skein at the end of a row with enough of a tail to darn in at the end of your project. You also want to finish the skein at the end of a row and not in the middle. For this project, you will stop when you see that you are coming to the end of your skein and measure what remains by doubling the yarn over your work twice. If you can do this, you have enough yarn to knit one more row. If not, stop and cut your yarn to a 5-inch or 12-centimeter tail. Next, begin the yarn on your next skein and tie the ends together like so, being sure to leave enough of a tail on the new yarn for darning in as well. Again, be very careful that you begin knitting with your new yarn and not with the tails. It's very exciting to see the color change in the beginning. This is what the color change will look like after a few rows. Front and back. When you are nearing the end of your last skein, you will want to stop and measure the remaining yarn. You will need the length it takes to double over your work 3 times to cast off properly. When you near this point, end a row and prepare to cast off. To cast off, knit 2 stitches. Then carefully and loosely flip the first stitch on your right needle over the second and off of your needle. Now knit the next stitch and repeat the flip off. Continue to the last stitch. At the last stitch, pull the loop gently to enlarge it. Cut the yarn about 6 inches or 15 centimeters long and pull it through the loop to secure your work. To darn in ends, place an end onto your darning needle and gently weave in through the stitches of the same color of work, like so. Repeat until all ends are darned in. There you go. You've knit your first scarf. You've also learned how to cast on stitches, knit stitches, change from one skein to another, cast off stitches, and darn in ends. We will review each of these skills in Lesson 2, where we will knit fingerless mittens together and learn some new skills. Enjoy your scarf!